I've seen a couple of sport dogs. They're actually quite terrifying. They'll look at you, whether you have a suit or not, they'll look at you as a potential target. Now, they're not dangerous, they're under control, but you can tell they're thinking, if I was to be given permission by my handler to go tear you up, whether you're wearing a suit, carrying a sleeve, holding a clatter stick or not, if I were to just get permission to do that, I would destroy you. Sport dogs, you can tell, they know, they know that all it takes, the only thing separating them from destroying you is a command. So when people imply that sport dogs, and that's what they do, they imply that sport dogs will not make good protection dogs because they're not focused on the man, because all they want is equipment. I can promise you they have not seen enough sport dogs. A lot of these people that say these things, either they're not invested in sports, they've only dabbled, or they've experienced sports to a minor extent, to a minor degree, or they just have never really done sports and they've only seen some here and there. They've only seen some videos and they make their claims based on the limited exposure to sport dogs. But when you are really invested in sports, I mean, you really are into it, you've done it for some time, you've done it for years, and you've seen enough sport dogs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And what I'm getting at in this video is, when we put all individuals in one bucket, and that bucket is the bucket of our experience, when we put all the individuals in that bucket, it can be a little bit deceiving because you're not telling the whole story. So yes, I will agree, not every sport dog can do protection training in a real sense. Not every sport dog can be an amazing police dog. Not every sport dog is going to protect you. That is absolutely correct. There are plenty of sport dogs that if the equipment is gone, they're not going to do anything. I wholeheartedly agree with that. But I cannot agree that that's the case with every sport dog. Now, mind you, I've also seen the opposite. I've seen dogs that have been sold as personal protection dogs that will barely bite as it is. I've seen people that have bought personal protection dogs that are really just equipment fixated. And yes, that's not proper training, I understand that. That's not the representation of every personal protection dog. I get that. But when you have the experience in this area, right? I've worked with personal protection dogs. I've worked with police dogs. I've worked with contract working dogs. And I spent a lot of time working with sport dogs. So I've really seen the different types of work that these dogs can do. So because of that, I just cannot just make blanket statements. And that's the problem with blanket statements. They just imply that this is just how it is. Because this is, from my experience, this is how I see it, so this is a blanket statement. But there are so many individuals that don't fit that category. That's what I believe based on what I've seen, based on what I've done, based on what I have experienced. And this is why I don't do well with blanket statements. I've worked with so many dogs that I can tell you that even though I used to use blanket statements early in my career, there will always be an individual or a number of individuals that would tell me, right, dogs that would teach me, hey dude, that blanket statement doesn't fit. That blanket statement doesn't cover a number of individuals that you maybe have not seen yet. Tell me, what do you think? Just let me know, how is it that you feel about this statement? Do you think sport dogs will not make good personal protection dogs because they only target equipment? What's your experience? Tell me about it.